Welcome to Heaping Spoonful, a twice-monthly conversation with restaurateurs, chefs, growers, and others who have helped generate the legends associated with eateries across the Mid-South. The team at Benny Keith is proud to sponsor this adventure with the goal of preserving the stories that have helped cultivate an amazing food scene across the Mid-South. So kick back and enjoy a Heaping Spoonful.
All right, everybody, it is the first or third Tuesday of the month. That means it is Heaping Spoonful over here at Benny Keith Studios over in Rose City. My name is Brian McFadden. I'm chef owner of Brewed and Barley down in the heart of Argenta, right on Main Street in Dogtown. And who I have on the podcast today is I've heard this many times, and I think it fits you and the establishment well. You guys are like the anchor of Argenta. Really, you were the first ones there. The first ones moving and shaking. And one of the reasons why us, like so many people that have joined the Argenta group in, the last, 5 or 6 years, one of the reasons why we're there. So across the table from me today, I have Eric Isaac of Ristorante Cãpeo. How you doing, Eric?
Doing well.
Man, I'm really happy that you came on today. And when I say, Rusty, actually, I've heard that before, but I had Rusty in the studio a couple minutes ago. Rusty was telling me a story, and he's like, "Oh, who you got on the podcast today?" And I said, "I got Eric Isaac on at Cãpeo." And he was like, "Oh, man, that's good." He's like, "I wish I could stick around, but I have another appointment." But he's like, "Man, Cãpeo, the anchor of Argenta." And I think it fits you guys well, for sure. How long you been going now?
June will be 22 years.
22 years, man. Yeah. There's something to be said for 22 years.
Yeah.
And a lot has changed in 22 years, right?
It has. Yeah, Argenta has.
Yeah, Argenta certainly has, huh?
Yeah, we were sort of the first. I don't know if you'd heard, but when we opened in June of 2003.
Okay.
There was a bar where Reno's is now.
Okay.
That was called Cornerstone, and Lewis was the owner of Cornerstone also. He and Mike Kent.
Okay.
Chris Kent's brother.
Oh, okay.
And the brothers, Chris was involved a little bit, but mostly it was Mike and Lewis, and they had Cornerstone. Right there where Reno's is.
I didn't know that.
For several years. And then they split, and the Kent brothers, Mike, moved next door where Skinny J's is.
Okay.
And that was Cornerstone. Lewis kept that location and called it Reno's.
Okay.
And then Mike got out of the business, went into what he's doing now. But so they actually opened a week before we did.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the strange thing about it is, I don't know how, but we didn't even know they were down there.
Really?
Yeah, because my brother and I, we worked on Cãpeo for, it was probably a year and a half, because we did all the inside work on that building.
You did all the construction yourself, right?
The inside.
Man.
Yeah, my uncle owned the building, and he did the outside work to make it just constructually sound for us.
Right.
And, we didn't do 100% of the inside work, but we did most of it. And they were down there working on that building too. And then when it was just so bizarre, because they came down and they said they had just opened, and it just took us by surprise. But anyways, we got to become really good friends with them.
They're good dudes. I don't know Mike, but I know Lewis. Lewis has become a good friend of mine. Yeah. I started hanging in there when I first moved here. I was hanging at Reno's and hanging at Four Quarter, late night. When we were testing menu items and stuff at Brewed, and then afterwards, we walk down the street and go to Reno's, and Lewis has become a friend of mine. He's such a good dude, such a kind-hearted individual. He's just a good guy. So we're gonna get into the restaurant in a little bit, but I want to learn a little bit about you. From Arkansas?
Yes.
Born and raised, like where at?
Born in Tennessee, but grew up in Batesville from 9 on.
Okay.
My parents were from Cabot.
Oh, okay.
So, we moved to Batesville and went from 4th grade through 12th there.
Okay.
And then moved out in Conway and Little Rock area.
were you always like interested? Were you like cooking growing up? Like your parents cook? Like what were your influences there?
We cooked at home, rarely ate out sometimes, but mostly at home. And then my brother and I, we started doing the cooking at a pretty young age. And then my first job was at the Ramada Inn there. They had a restaurant called Teal's, and they had a private club, the Duck Blind. One kitchen served both, and so I worked in that kitchen from like 14 or 15.
What kind of food?
Be surprised, though. Steaks, seafood. We had a seafood buffet on the weekends. It was nice.
Really?
Yeah. Of course, they did burgers and things like that, too.
Yeah.
Room service.
So a little bit of everything. Room service. We were just talking about hotel life, man. I did hotel life for a little bit, and actually today, I had Brad Izzard. Do you know Brad? Brad is the chef at the Capitol Hotel, and Capitol, I think 6 kitchens over there, you name it. But anyway, just talking about hotel life. I did hotel life for a while. Man, that's another game right there. Hotel life, between room service and
Parties, banquet parties.
Oh, yeah, you name it. You might have a wedding over here. Any given time you have a wedding over here, and then like a party over here, and then you got room service that goes until 1 a.m. Not to mention the staffing, but the timing is brutal. It's brutal. So when you guys, so your brother Brian, you guys started cooking at home. Was it always Italian or?
Oh no. No, it was probably rarely Italian, maybe spaghetti and meat sauce, something like that.
Okay. What kind of stuff are you cooking at home?
Now?
Well, back then.
Oh, chicken, just lots of chicken, probably salads, spaghetti, like I mentioned, just simple things.
Yeah. Were your parents cooks or?
Mom cooked.
Mom cooked?
Yeah.
The house, my mom cooks, but my dad is more of a cook. My dad cooks a little bit more.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They made us a deal. If the nights that we cooked, we didn't have to do the dishes, and we hated doing the dishes, so we chose to cook. Get it over with and be done with it.
That's a good trade-off there. Yeah, and back then, like when I was cooking at a young age, I make a giant mess. So that was a trade-off in our house too. It's like if I cook, I didn't have to clean, but I wasn't as clean of a cook then than I am now. So whoever had to clean up after me, I felt bad for. I was like, I'm sorry for that. But I cooked, you ate. So it's solid. So then now you're flashing forward. So what made you guys think like we're going to open up a restaurant? Like how did that come into fruition?
Okay. I always worked in the restaurant business. Mm-hmm. And Brian didn't. And so he actually at the time he owned 2 mortgage companies, one here and one in Fayetteville, and got burnt out on that and dissolved both companies. And so he was just kind of at loose ends. Mm-hmm. And I had worked at an Italian restaurant down further up Main Street on 17th called Casanelli 1700.
Okay.
And left there. And was working at the hotel, down the Wyndham Hotel at the steakhouse.
Okay.
And during that time, Andrea Casanelli, who owned the restaurant, closed it. Mm-hmm. And about a year went by, and that's like I said, with my brother was looking for something to do, and I said, there's a gap now. Since Andrea closed, we ought to open an Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
Take its place.
Did you jump on it right away?
Yeah. Well, and then, like I said, it took us a little while to get open, but
yeah. Well, doing a lot of that construction yourself. Now you have to confirm or deny some of these rumors because I hear all these rumors. I've been here 5 years now, and everybody said like, Cãpeo's been here forever, man. And those guys, they opened up. They had a backhoe right in the middle of the place that dug out the wine cellar, all that kind of stuff. Is that what happened?
Yeah, that's where we started.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I cut the concrete. It's on a 4-inch concrete slab. I cut that and got busted that all out with a jackhammer. And then my granddad actually came down and helped us that day. And we had a dump trailer in the back, and we had to bust out the double doors, one of the sets of double doors, just to get it. It was a little mini excavator.
Right.
It would dig down 6 feet. That's how deep we could get. That's the biggest one we could get through the doors.
Wow.
We couldn't break up the building to get that thing in.
Right.
But so actually he worked that and just piled it up, and probably Brian or me was on the skid steer, taking the dirt out the back and putting it in the trailer. But, it would only dig down 6 feet. So Brian and I had to get down there with 5-gallon buckets and shovels and dig out the other 3 feet.
And just and just haul it out.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. How big is that wine cellar?
It's small. It's, I think, maybe 15 by 15.
I mean, say it's small, but that's
plenty big for us. But,
yeah.
But it's not a big room. A lot of people think that it's big enough to go down and eat in, and it's not.
Oh, yeah. How many bottles? Now, I was actually in there. I was in the wine cellar one time because I was with John Crow. And I was hanging out with Crow, and we were actually sitting at the bar drinking martinis, and his daughter popped up. I don't know how, but his daughter popped up, and she went down in the wine cellar. So I was like, oh, I didn't know there was a wine cellar down there. This is early on me being down here. And he said, oh yeah, you want to see it? So I walked down. How many bottles you got down there?
I don't know. I don't go down there much, but I think it'll hold 1,000. Damn. There's not 1,000 down there, but I believe that's what it'll hold. I made the wine racks for all the bottles to slide into.
You made all those yourself?
If I'm remembering right, it was creeping up around 1,000 slots.
I'll tell you what, it's gorgeous down there, man. It's really cool. It's really cool. Do people go down there much and like take a look at it, or?
I don't know. They used to. But I'm trying to discourage that now. I need to redo the floor down there.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. You're going to do that yourself too, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Now, I can tell you, like, so over at Brood, there's kind of like a split. Like my cousin and I, like I handle mostly kitchen stuff. I mean, we work together, don't get me wrong, but I handle mostly kitchen stuff, and he handles mostly front of the house stuff. Is there that split there between you and Brian?
Exactly.
Gotcha. So you're the chef, so you handle the kitchen stuff, and he handles all the front of the house stuff.
Yep. Yeah, and also he does payroll, taxes, and all the clerical office stuff. All
that other stuff. I hear you. As far as the kitchen goes, so you have an open kitchen over there, it's like I have a love-hate relationship with open kitchens. It's kind of one of those things. I love it because I'm a narcissist, and I like everybody to see like what we're doing, and like, check this out. This is cool. Look at what we're doing. We're feeding you guys and all that kind of stuff. But I think there's a lot of pressure there as far as an open kitchen goes.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's something in my head. I don't know. But I mean, but the kind of food that you're pushing out of there, I mean, I'd obviously be happy to work in an open kitchen over there. I mean, you guys are making your own pasta, right? Yep. You're making your own pasta. I mean, you do a little bit of everything over there too. I pick up to go every once in a while. It's rare that I come and sit down at Cãpeo. But just last week, I texted Richard actually and was like, hey, put me in an order. I think I had the chicken parm last week, but I've had the tagliatelle a couple times. But with that being said, the menu over there's a lot of tradition on your menu, and then there's a lot of stuff that's you know. But making your own pasta and pushing out the food that you're pushing out, and it's not a big kitchen.
No, it's small.
Yeah.
But before we don't make all of our own pasta. We make the tagliatelle, we make the pappardelle, and but we buy the spaghetti.
Yeah.
And I
think everybody does.
Fettuccine. We it just got too much to keep up with that because we have to dry it.
Yeah.
So we just don't have the space for all that. So we make half and we buy half.
That was actually one of the things that I was curious about too, like because just like me, like, I don't have any space either. I think nobody on that strip, restaurant wise, has any space. It's tough. So yeah, making all that stuff, big batches. Now you have a person that comes in the morning and knocks all that prep out.
Yeah, he does, and he makes the pastas. Yeah,
he makes all the pastas.
And the bread. He does a lot of things just to get out of the way before the guys come in at 1 or 2 to start prepping.
Gotcha.
He does great. Now he makes the gelatos. He makes the pastas and the breads are the main things, but he does other prep too.
And not to mention, well, you mentioned gelato, which I haven't had your gelato yet. And my wife, keeps getting pissed off at me because my wife is a gelato lover, and she's like, "How come we've never had the gelato?" Now, do you have specific flavors that you do, or do you change it up?
He keeps them. Yeah, he does them randomly, so he keeps them different. I think he usually keeps at least three different flavors at any given time.
That's awesome. That's a lot to keep up with, man. I mean, between gelato, between bread, between pasta, how many seats do you have over there, Eric?
150.
That's a lot, man. It's big. And I think that when you walk by that corner, I don't think it's like, first of all, it's always busy. It's funny. I was just telling Rusty, like, Eric, I'm that guy. Like, I don't know. What would you say I'm from you? 100 feet maybe? Like,
yeah, just a few down the road.
Yeah. And when there's something going on in the town, I will walk, so what I'll do is if we get really busy, once we get like through our push, then I will walk around town and I will see like what's going on. Like hopefully everybody's busy. And man, when I peek in your windows, and it's usually like me walking around the corner, I'll usually like come out of the back of my building and then walk around the corner and, I'll give Richard a wave. He's always waving at me from the bar or whatever. And sometimes Keith will wave. But you're always busy, man. You're always busy. Even on the nights when everybody else is slow, you're always busy. You've made a good name for yourself over there, for sure. And not only the name, but everything that I've eaten over there has been just money, man.
That's good to know.
But you have, so I want to talk about, you have I would say a secret menu item. Do you have an item that's not on the menu?
Oh.
Yeah. You have I don't know, am I allowed to say it?
Of course, yeah.
You have the elk over there, right? Mm-hmm. And I had actually never eaten elk before. Before I moved to Arkansas, I'd never eaten elk. And everybody said, well, you have to have the elk at Cãpeo. And I remember going online and being like, it's not on the menu anymore. Yeah. And then finally somebody was like, it's not on the menu, man. It's like, it's an off menu item. How did that come about?
I don't know. It was one of the specials we had early on.
Okay.
In the first year. And it got really popular. And so a lot of people come in just for it. And so we've just kept it. I did put it on the menu at one time.
Did you?
Maybe 10 or 15 years ago. And then once it was put on the menu, it didn't sell as much because they're not hearing about it. The waiter's not coming up and saying, "Hey, listen, we've got the elk if you want tonight." And so it gets ordered more like that. So I just took it off the menu and just ran it for a special.
Man, it's so funny because I've made, to me, like I've made that mistake before. Like we'll run something a special and we'll run like for a month. Like I got a good price on this piece of meat or whatever it is. I'm gonna run it for a whole month and I'll sell the heck out of them. Just like can't even keep it in. I'm calling my guy over here at Benny Keith, be like, man, give me more. And then I'll be like, all right, we're going to put it on the menu. I put it on the menu and I sell like 5 a week. I'm like, what is this? It drives me crazy. Yeah. It kills me.
Well, because the waiters aren't telling them about it.
Yeah. There's something to be said for service over there too. It's just service in general. Now, you've been in the business 22 years. How much, do you have any original staff over there?
Yeah. A guy on the floor.
Really?
Yeah. He didn't open with us, but he came on in the first year, I think about 8 months when we were open.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's still there.
That's crazy. Is he a manager, GM, or is he?
Yeah. He earlier last year he had some health problems, and so he used to be, and so he stepped down from that, and he just kind of works when he wants to now, but it's actually more than he was then. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. But no, he's great. He's like our family.
That's awesome. And that's the thing about the restaurant business that I love so much. And sometimes it's sometimes it could hinder, but when you work with these people for so long, and you're so close to them, like obviously, like sometimes we spend more time with the people at the restaurant than we do with our own families. So, they become second family to you, which I've always loved. I'm that kind of person, you know. We've only been open, you know, June will be 5 years, and I have a couple people that have been with me from the beginning, and they've become like family. You know, they come over during the holidays and all that kind of stuff when we're closed, and you know, we even hang out, watch football, that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So you got Guy over there. How many people you have in your kitchen over there? Like, say a Saturday night.
6.
6, yeah.
2 in the dish and then 6 in the kitchen.
Yeah. I think you have a young lady that washes dishes for you over there.
Maria.
Yeah.
She's been with us 10 or 12 years.
I was going to say, she's been with you for a while, too. I hear her name often. Yeah, I hear her name.
She's a godsend. We love her.
Not many people understand how important that position is.
Oh, yeah, it's the most.
yeah. One of the best guys I worked under, he said, when he gave me my first management position in a restaurant, and he said, man, just treat the dishwasher like they're the CEO, all right? Don't take care of the dishwasher always, you know? Make sure they eat, make sure you're paying them well, make sure you take care of them, all right? It's not a position you want to be without. Put somebody over there that's going to lead that charge and take care of it, and obviously you've done that over there with Maria.
We've never had a problem in our dish room. Her brother worked there before her, and he was with us almost since the beginning.
Wow.
He came on about the time Guy did, and then brought her on. And right now, their other brother works there, who worked there years before. So he off and on, he's been with us about 10 years, or longer, really. If I think about it, he was with Ramon, and then now her grandson Omar, he's working in the dish room and in our kitchen.
Oh wow,
yeah,
that's so cool. I love that progression. I've been in a couple of those kitchens where, one, it's a great feeling that somebody is like happy and they're comfortable enough to say like, hey, you know, I have, you know, my nephew or my grandson or, you know, something like that. I'm gonna bring them over. You know, to me, that shows like it's a good environment to work in. They're gonna bring family over there, so they must be happy. You know, it's not
I
like,
hope so.
Yeah, exactly. This is a question that I ask everybody. So everybody that's on the podcast, I ask this because I'm that guy. If my wife and I were to come over to Cãpeo and, you know, no menus, like, what would you want me to order? Like, what's the progression there? Like, I can tell you, like, in my restaurant, for appetizer, I want you to order this. For your meal, I want you to order this. And, you know, for dessert, I want you to get this, and I want you to drink this. Like, if you were to say, like, Brian, like, I'm just going to cook for you guys come in, like, what would you do? What would you cook?
Oh man, usually I avoid that question because I say, you know what I say? I say, well, hey, I'm the chef. I like everything. If I didn't like it, it wouldn't be on the menu.
Yeah.
But you know, if you and your wife were going to come in tonight, you know, they make the mozzarella every day.
Oh, hell yeah.
So try that for the appetizer. And then I would go to a pasta. I don't know, maybe tonight a soup.
Yeah.
Since it's so cold.
It's so cold.
Mushroom soup, mushroom truffle soup. But a pasta, I would try the tagliatelle and the bolognese.
Oh, they have bolognese.
And a couple things on the entrees. There's been a few things that have not left the menu.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've tried a couple different times to take things off the menu. These things I'll mention in just a minute, but I can't because you know why? Because whenever I do, we get nasty emails, and people say, you know what? I came in
for that
just to get the duck, and it wasn't on the menu, and I'm not ever coming back. And so I say, you know what? How I reply? I'm putting it back on the menu.
I'm putting them back on the menu. Don't worry, it'll be back on next change.
Yeah, and there's a few like that, and so the duck Valentine, who we named, I named that after Bill Valentine, and he was before your time, but he was the general manager of the Arkansas Travelers.
Okay.
Yeah, and so he's the one that worked with the Stevens and got the ballpark built over there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and he died. I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Okay.
But but Bill was a dear friend and a great customer, and he used to love the duck over. So I've known him for a long time, since the Casanelli days, and he would always love the duck. And so when I opened, I just named that after him on the menu.
What's all on that dish?
It's a Long Island duck breast.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a skin on, and we cook it medium rare-ish.
Mm.
And the sauce that's on it is this. And the reason I named it after him because we put the sauce is Sambuca and port wine.
Oh wow!
And so he always ordered a Sambuca after dinner.
Nice.
And so we season that with different spices and things, and reduced it down a little bit of sugar so it's thick.
Mm-hmm.
And so that probably say you get that.
Mm-hmm.
The beef tenderloin, so we do that with goat cheese and just grilled mushrooms. Ooh. It's simple, but like one of my best friends, he had been coming in for, of course, since we opened, but it might have been 15 years. And that's all he ever ordered. And I said, wow. Jamie, man. And so I had to send him things just so he would order the steak all the time. And so I would send him an ossobuco or just a pasta. And then, what he discovered, he said, oh, hell, I like that too. But I'm telling you, for over a decade, that's all he ordered.
That's all he ordered.
So the beef tenderloins, that is like that also. And the ossobuco.
Yeah. I saw that on the
menu. Just a traditional Milanese on the saffron risotto. I
have not pulled the trigger on the ossobuco yet, but it's always like every time I look at the menu, I'm like, I got to get it. And I end up getting something else. I don't know why I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet, but I haven't done it. I love a good ossobuco. And people have told me about your ossobuco. There's also something on there too, the veal alla Càpeo. Am I right by saying that?
Yep.
Man, I love me some veal.
Yeah.
I haven't had good veal in a long time. It's been a while. The thing about it is, so
that dish, before we go on, I was going to say that a chef that we had, now this may have been, it was before my daughter was born, so it was maybe 2005 or 6, early on for us.
Mm-hmm.
Les Braceley, you familiar with him? He has Mr. Cajun's down there.
Yeah.
That's a Cajun restaurant. Mm-hmm. He ran that for a special one night.
Okay.
And it was so popular, I told him, I said, Les, I'm putting that on the menu.
Heck yeah.
So we just called it veal alla Càpeo.
That's awesome.
Should have called it, like veal alla Les or Leslie or something like that. But anyways, it's been popular. It's what Brian's eating now. He's on the veal alla Càpeo. That's all he's ordering.
That's all he's ordering right now. You go through those stents, man. I do the same thing. I think I might have said this on the last podcast. You'll probably laugh at me too, but I'll actually go behind the bar and I'll grab a menu from behind the bar and I'll look at the menu to try to decide like what I want to eat. And everybody's like, Brian, are you really looking at a menu? Like, you're the freaking chef.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm indecisive. I've obviously eaten everything on the menu 10 times over. I don't know what I want. So I always look at the menu. But when I find something, like, I'll order the same thing for like months. And everyone, when it comes through, there might be a little modifier on there. They'll be like, yeah, that's Brian's. That's Brian's. So Brian's on the veal alla Càpeo right now. Yeah. And then he'll switch it up like a couple months from now and then probably be on that for a while, right?
Yeah. Well, but what you're talking about, I'm the same way. When I go to your place, I get the poke bowl.
Yeah.
Whenever I go to, if it's Vino's, as far as I'm concerned, the only thing they have is the ham and onion calzone.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
I know they serve other things, but
yeah,
that's all I'm ordering. and I've told Henry that many, many times, but I do the same thing.
Yeah, I get stuck. But I don't know. It's a thing for me. I don't get a taste for something for a while, and then it's just what happens. It's a thing for sure. The thing. So I can tell you this. So, I'm from Philadelphia, and there's big Italian roots in Philly, like huge Italian roots in Philly. So a lot of growing up, we cooked a lot. We cooked and ate a lot of Italian food. Just a ton. My mom worked at an Italian restaurant called Via Venito's, and she was there for like 20 years. So not only did we cook, but we ate a lot of Italian. And so moving down here, there's certain staples that I needed to know where to go, and I'm constantly asking my cousin Jess, or where am I going to go for? Where do I go for Chinese food? Where do I go for Mexican food? Where do I go for wings? Where do I go for pizza? Like, where do I go for Italian food? All that kind of stuff. And obviously everybody was like, dude, Cãpeo's right there. You can walk. You don't need to go anywhere else. So you just go to Cãpeo, which is great. It's easy for me. And I will, like I said, I will sneak out the back door, and then I'll go, or I'll text Rich and say, hey, put this in for me. And then I'll come and I'll pick it up at the bar. And then I'll walk in the back door of Brood, because I don't want anybody to see me carrying takeout food from another restaurant like through my dining room. But I do. Yeah, I mean, it's good food, but I also you try to support everybody in town, but they all pick on me. It's a thing for sure. So Eric, all right, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a quick break, okay? We're gonna pay some bills, listen to some commercials here for a second, and then we will be right back with Heaping Spoonful and Eric Isaac.
I hope you're enjoying this episode of Heaping Spoonful. We at Benny Keith Foods enjoy talking about the food scene almost as much as we enjoy providing the top quality ingredients that help restaurateurs and chefs across the Mid-South create their magic. Now let's dive even deeper into the culinary world with your host, Chef Brian McFadden.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Heaping Spoonful. I'm going to keep this going right now, and I'm going to call it. So we're sitting with one of the owners, one of the brothers from, we're gonna say the anchor of Argenta Restaurant Cãpeo, Eric Isaac. So Eric, we talked about a bunch of stuff already. Where you grew up and how you started cooking, and where you started out, and you and your brother, digging your wine cellar out. But man, there's something to be said, I think. And it just kind of popped in my head, actually. So right when I was like, okay, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to pay some bills, commercials. You and I both picked up our phone right away. It's like, owning a restaurant, you never turn it off, you're always on. What days are you closed over there?
We're closed on Sundays.
Closed on Sundays.
Yeah.
And then you just open up for dinner, right? 5 o'clock. So
5 to 9.
5 to 9.
And actually, who I was texting was my Benny Keith rep.
Oh, really?
Just now, right?
Well, just come upstairs. We're up in the studio. Just come hang out. I was actually talking to my Benny Keith rep before you got here, and he was like, "Where are you?" I was like, "I'm upstairs." He was like, "Okay, I'll be up in a minute." It's easy. A lot of the times, my crew knows that I'm here on Tuesdays, and so they'll be like, hey, chef, if you're over there, we could use some more flour or, whatever. I'm like, come on, guys. You guys are killing me. So then I'll text Lane and be like, hey, put it in. When I'm done the podcast, I'll go pick it up down there. Benny Keith probably does have the best will call, by the way. For anybody else that's listening, sorry, but it's the truth. It's true. So, man, 22 years. I mean, it's crazy. There's something to be said for that. Hopefully, I'll be sitting here talking about me being open 22 years, There's certainly...
Oh, you will. If you want to be, you will.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
You guys have a good operation over there.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I mean, you paved the way for us. So I remember when I came down and visited before I decided to move down here, you guys were one of the first, and we peeked in the window then. That was 2020, peeking in the window at Cãpeo. You guys weren't open at the time, but my cousin said, these guys have been here forever, man. You got to try this, you got to try this, and you got to try that.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I think I tried all those things 10 times over. I got stuck there for a while. We actually ordered, when we first, outdoor dining, when we first started doing outdoor dining, we were ordering pizzas from you guys for the staff. And we did 18 outdoor dinings in a row. That was, I did not have the same staff at the end of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, during COVID and stuff like that. So when
you guys opened up right then or just before?
Yeah, we opened up June 2020. So Yeah, I mean,
Oh, so just after when you were able to open?
yeah. Right when the governor was like, you can open up at 66% capacity, we were like, we need to open.
Yeah.
Let's just do
Because y'all
this.
worked on that for a long time.
Yeah.
2 years?
Yeah. And part of that was because it took me a while to get down here from PA because my wife and I, we had to sell our house. So after we had actually committed to come down here, it was another year after that because we had to sell our house and wrap a bunch of stuff up and, take care of all that personal stuff to move 1,800 miles away,
Did you sell your house before COVID?
Yes.
If you would have waited about a year, you might have doubled that. Didn't the prices go way up?
Yeah, they certainly did. I'm not that lucky. Yeah. So this is kind of a rhetorical question, but how was COVID for you guys? I mean, you guys are open 5 to 9 for dinner, closed on Sundays. What were you doing? A lot of takeout like everybody else.
No, we didn't do any takeout.
No?
No, we just closed up. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, the governor at the time, Asa Hutchinson, was in our restaurant the night before they closed the restaurants down.
Oh, wow.
And had dinner, and he came back to the kitchen because it was so slow, because everyone knew what was going on, but they hadn't closed anything down, so the business was so slow. And so Brian and I were actually just working in the kitchen, just let the guys off.
Oh, wow.
And so Asa came back there, and we knew him, and he came back to the kitchen and was talking to us, and he said, I'm going to do my best to keep the restaurants open. And then the next day. Anyways, he did what he had to do. But we closed for 4 months. They said we could reopen after a certain amount of time at half capacity, and we didn't. And then whenever they said we could go to 66%, then we, since the upstairs was vacant at the time, we called John, who owns that building, and asked if we could store the tables that we couldn't use because they had to be so far apart and all that.
Yeah, like 10, 12 feet, something like that.
We took them upstairs, and so we didn't have a bunch of unused tables in the restaurant.
Yeah.
And open at 66. So it was 4 solid months that we closed. But it worked out perfect because everybody, at the time they were giving everyone just crazy money for on top of whatever they normally would, I guess. So everybody went on unemployment.
Yeah.
And I think that expired after 16 weeks. So
yeah.
So we closed for 16 weeks, and the next day, that 17th, first day of the 17th week, we reopened. So everybody was kind of happy.
Yeah.
Pretty happy about it.
Everybody had a little bit of a break.
And then whenever that money ran out, they came right back to work, and we kept our whole staff. I think maybe lost one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Again, man, there's something to be said for that. I mean, your whole staff comes back, to lose one. And how many people you have on staff over there?
I don't know, 20-something.
Yeah. So for everybody to come back, that's awesome.
I think we did lose one who was just nervous, thought it might not be time to come back.
Right.
I believe, I think I'm saying that right, but everybody else came back.
Wow. And we started doing that outdoor dining stuff, and we did the outdoor dining for, like I said, I think it was 18 weeks, setting up out on the street and stuff. And I know you guys did it for a bit there too in the beginning. And I don't think I had the same staff after that. At the outdoor dining, 18 weeks in a row.
Oh, I thought you meant the one out back.
Yeah, the one
you're talking about out on the street.
Yeah, out on the street. Yeah. Oh yeah,
we tried. I think we tried that. We did that a little bit.
Yeah. When we first did it, I think you guys were involved there. Yeah. I didn't end up with the same staff at the end of the 18 weeks, man. It was just brutal because I think everybody just wanted to get out, everybody, and it was out on the street. So it was just so busy. Some of my guys, Philly cheesesteak, we cooked like 118 cheesesteaks in like one day. And
I remember my brother, it's the first thing he got from you guys out on the street.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were out there and he came back with a big platter.
Nice. The guy that was making those Phillies is like, man, I don't want to cook. I don't want to make any more Phillies. I don't want to do it anymore, man.
Should have had a Blackstone out on the street.
Yeah. I got one at home now, but yeah, you're right. I'd still think about putting one out there. Just throw one out there on the sidewalk.
How are you guys liking the curb parking?
Oh man, the parklets.
Parklets, yeah.
Man, the city did us good with those, man. I mean, it's The funny part about it is there's such a transition between like spring and between spring and summer, and then I don't mean like the transition between spring, but what I'm trying to say is, so when it's warm, everybody wants to sit out front. When it's cold or when it starts cooling down, everybody wants to sit out back. As we have like the heaters out back, we put up those propane heaters. So it's really funny just the switch, and it added 36 seats, man. So the kitchen didn't get any bigger, but
Right.
but we picked up some seats for sure. There's something about sitting outside,
There is.
sitting, and everybody tells me that they like sitting out there because of the people watching. It's all the people watching in Argenta. You sit there and eat, and people watch, and all that fun stuff. But it worked out well for us. It worked out well. So all right, so 22 years, man. What else do you do? What do you do on your free time? Like, are you an outdoorsy guy? Like, what do you do? Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do it nearly enough, but like to camp and float rivers.
Nice.
But used to build furniture. Used to build a lot of furniture, and then filled up my house with furniture. My wife said, "Kill it with the furniture already." But now Brian and I actually are investors in a cabinet shop.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my neighbor builds cabinets, and he switched jobs, and I said, "Whoa, let's get you set up in your own shop," and so we did.
Wow.
So he builds cabinets for people's kitchens and bathrooms and whole houses, So been playing with that, and what am I doing now? And I've actually just started restoring an older Corvette.
Really?
Yeah, I want to see if I can get that running.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. What year is it?
82.
82.
Yeah, it's the last model of that C3.
That's awesome. It's funny that you brought cars up because talking to Crow and Chris Kent about possibly doing something downtown car related.
Are you having a car show?
We were thought about it. Yeah, we were thinking about it.
I think they've done. Have they done one before? Was it a long time ago?
Chris told me that they did one a very long time ago,
Yeah.
and it didn't work out well for him. But he did say that there's a good possibility that it wasn't done correctly. So we're just toying with it right now. So it's actually funny that you brought it up. So
this would be a need a lot of work before it could go into a car show.
So 82. How much work you got to put into it? Did you do it all yourself?
Oh no. Well, I will from this point on. Yeah, but it actually looks decent. The motor looks good, but the interior and everything needs to be redone. The dash is all pulled.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress.
Man, I have a couple buddies back home. One of them's got an old Monte Carlo, like 70. I want to say it's a 79 Monte Carlo. And
is that old SS?
Yes.
Black.
Yeah, his is like a cherry black. It's pretty badass.
Oh wow,
it's really cool. All original too. All original. Him and his dad were car guys. He works at Toyota. He's been at Toyota for like 25 years or something, but he got into building cars because his dad was a hot rodder, so they started building cars in the garage, So he still has that car too. He used to drive that thing to high school.
Yeah.
He'd drive it to school. Yeah, him and his dad built it, and that was like his everyday driver for the longest time. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. Ever think about opening up another restaurant?
Not at this point.
Yeah.
No.
22 years later, nothing. No Cãpeo too.
No, we thought about it over the years, but everything just sort of fizzled out. We thought about going to Northwest Fayetteville area, but I don't know. We just never did.
It's to me like one of the things that we always talked about. Like, we're gonna open up another location. I want it to be close. Like, as cool as it would be to like open up a restaurant out in Northwest Arkansas, like something goes wrong, you got to drive out there, and it might. I want everything like just close. You know, I just want to be able to. If I got to go to 3 different locations in one day, then I can do it. You know, I don't have to haul day to drive, 3 hours to another location to put out a proverbial fire, something like that. So if we're ever going to open up anything different, keep it close. Plus, I have trust issues. I don't trust anybody. Right. That's one of the reasons why I'm down here is because my cousin too. He's like, we're gonna open up this concept, and I don't have anybody that I trust to work with. Like, do you want to come down here and work with me? I'm talking to my wife about moving to Arkansas. She was like, "What the fuck are you talking about, man?"
Yeah, and now would she want to go back?
No.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy too, because I talk a lot about Arkansas back home, and I try to get like some friends to come down here, and most of them have actually, my close friends have come to visit so far. But as soon as they get down here, they're like, "Dude, it is nothing what we thought it was." And I was like, "Listen, man, I'm from Philadelphia too. Like, I understand. Like, I was that person too. Like when Jess was like, 'Man, you want to come to Arkansas?' I was like, 'No, I don't think I want to go to Arkansas.' And then I came and visited. I was like, 'This is awesome.' And we live in North Little Rock. Do you live close? Are you local?
Yeah.
Like, we live in Lakewood, and I love it, man.
Oh yeah, you should. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's quiet, it's laid back. I love the neighborhood. The neighborhood's beautiful, And for us, I know my cousin feels the same way. To be a part of Argenta and what we all have going on is amazing. To me, I think I'm lucky. I mean, we got you guys up on the corner. There's 4 Quarter Bar. There's us. We got Blackberry Market. We got Reno's. Drafting tables on the corner now. Yeah. I mean, it's just everybody.
The early planners of Argenta, I think, did it really right.
Yeah.
They and I mean John Godin and his investors around him.
Yeah.
And now they've got Chris Kent in there as the director.
Yeah.
And they've all, I think, had the same vision. Chris was a part of Argenta early on. Mm-hmm. But just not having the chains in there.
Yeah.
Which they could have easily done.
Yeah.
And just leasing to independents. Mm-hmm. And I think they just knocked it out of the park. It has a different feel about it.
Yeah.
Than other places.
It has a real homey kind of vibe. There's a town back home that I reference also, a town called Cãpeo, which is right next to the town where I grew up. But Cãpeo had it still does to this day have that feel. It's like small town. You feel safe walking up and down the streets. You can do a progression there. Like, you can go to Cãpeo the same as you can go to Argenta at any given time during the day, and there's something for everybody. Whether you're looking for breakfast, whether you're looking for coffee, whether you're looking for dinner, or your late night, or whatever it is, there's something there for everybody. And I would recommend anybody on the Strip. I don't think there's not one place where I would say don't go.
Yeah, I think we're there in Argenta too.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's one of the reasons why I like it so much, and one of the many reasons, because it feels like home, As much as I miss home, like when I'm in Argenta, I feel like I'm home, And I mean, I don't care what anybody says. Like, I lived, 40 years, back home. I miss it, So when I'm in Argenta, I feel, I get that homey feeling that I like.
Good.
And the thing about it is too, man, is that everybody on the Strip, like, I feel like we all support each other, Like, I know that at any given time, like, I could call Conan or I could call Lewis and be like, man, I tell the guys down the street, I'm like, we're very much cup of sugar neighbors. Like, if you need something, just ask me, If I can do it, I'm going to do it, Sometimes I'm not going to be able to, but if I can help somebody out, I'm going to help somebody out. And it's been very reciprocal in town. It's been great. It's been good.
Good.
So yeah, I mean, I enjoy it, and I hope that the plan is to be here 22 years. So
yeah,
I want to look at Isaac's status there.
I think everyone on that Strip can be if they want to be.
Yeah.
I think everyone runs a good business, and we probably don't hear everything, but everything we do hear is good. I haven't heard anything negative about any business down there.
Yeah, me neither. And I think
that we would address it honestly if we did.
Yeah, I
with Chris anyways, but we haven't had to.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And, obviously COVID was terrible. COVID was was awful, But I think the one good thing that came out of COVID is that, everybody kind of banded together and like, what are we going to do? How can we help each other out? Like, let's figure this out. And I think that after we got through COVID, it kept going, I think it brought us together, and I know it was good for me, being the new guy on the block, and new guy in town. It was definitely good for me to, meet everybody and, let everybody know that I was there to support them. And in turn, I know, they were huge. Everybody was big supporters of me. So it's just awesome. It's awesome. Yeah. So man, I got to tell you, people that listen to the podcast often have heard me say this, but it's true. It's 100% true. And my wife will attest to this. I'm selfish as hell. I am a selfish person. So when it comes to this podcast, it's funny because Rusty said to me early on when I was going to take over the podcast, he said, listen, man, I'm not going to pigeonhole you or anything like that. He said, but, at first, like, kind of run by me, like, who you're going to have on the podcast, and then I'm not saying I'm going to approve or disapprove it or say, no, don't have that person on, but I might say, maybe hold that one for later, or, something like that. Rusty didn't know that you were coming on today until maybe a half hour before you got here. And he was like, who you got on today? And I said, man, I got Eric Isaac coming on Cãpeo. And he was like, oh, man. He said, he's the poker king of Benny Keith. And I said, what? And he said, yeah, man, those poker games, we've been playing those poker games for a long time. And he said, what was it, like 7-8 years ago?
Yeah.
He said he was trying to get you to play poker forever. And then you finally decided that you were going to play, and you just came in and won the whole damn thing.
I did. I never played Texas Hold'em before.
Oh, really?
No, I've got that trophy in the restaurant.
He said, I'm pretty sure he's got that trophy over there at the restaurant.
Guy has a plan in it.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I was completely unexpected. I didn't expect to do anywhere near that well. And I didn't really know how it worked. And so we were playing, and the next thing I know, there were less people. I just figured people were leaving.
Right.
Home, but I didn't realize they were just running out of chips, because I thought when we ran out of chips, we could just get more chips. They're all free.
Yeah.
Anything for them. And, next thing you know, we're down to, one table with maybe 7 or 8 guys at it. And I thought, well, okay, well, I may have a shot at winning this thing. And then it was just me and another guy kind of came down to us, and then I beat him with a straight maybe, but it took me by surprise.
That's crazy. That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, he was talking about that right just before you got here. And he wanted to stick around and talk to you. He's like, man, I got this meeting. He's like, I wish you would have told me Eric was coming on. I would have moved some stuff around. Yeah, he's such a good dude.
I should have texted him and told him I was coming on.
You know what? I don't know why I didn't. Like, I don't know. You just get wrapped up, It's one of those things.
But he'd probably be sitting right here.
Yeah.
And he'd steal the show.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Rusty tends to do that. He tends to do that. Oh, man. Well, man, I really appreciate you coming on.
Oh, yeah. I'm happy to do it. Wow, that flew by.
And so I've been telling everybody this on the podcast, man. I'd like to check back in a year. Obviously, I'm going to see you before then. We're right up the street from each other. But I'd like to check back with you in a year and see if anything has changed, see what you got going on, talk about, any menu additions, or, well, you're not allowed to subtract anything from the menu, so you're not allowed to take anything off. But anything you got going on, man, let me know. And
I'd be happy to do it.
And you know where I'm at. If you ever need anything, just come holler at me.
Yeah, likewise.
Appreciate it. All right, everybody. That's it for this episode of Heaping Spoonful. I'd like to thank Rusty Mathis, the GM over here. This is Rusty's brainchild. I'm just a lonesome host over here, over here.
You do it well.
I'm trying. The effort's there. I thank Rusty. I'd like to thank Rob Nelson. He's the one making us sound good. Rob is the head of tech over here. And next week is Rob's birthday. So happy birthday to Rob. Rock and roll. And that's it for this episode. If you are interested in coming on Heaping Spoonful, just holler at us over here at Benny Keith. I would love to hear your story. Until next time.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Heaping Spoonful. On behalf of all of us at Benny Keith Foods, Mid-South Division, please know how much we love connecting you with the legends of the culinary scene and their unique stories. I look forward to the next time we can offer you another Heaping Spoonful.